So we're going to dive on in, and let me see. I got a whole bunch of questions in front of me here, Doc, because I had to do a little bit of finagling again. Since I don't know much about this subject, I had to find me some questions people might give a damn about. So we're going to go for the stance of if we know absolutely nothing. So, Doc, I want to start from zero because a lot of people hear the word diabetes, but they don't actually understand what it means. So they just think sugar, medication, or family history. I know personally, I know what I think of when I think. I got a video here that tells you exactly what I think about it. So let me put it up here a second. So let's explain to someone who's watching that's never studied the body before what it is. So hold on, I want to see if you can you see this and can you hear it? Because every time I think of diabetes, I think of this. Where is it? Okay.
This is it.
Hold on. Can you see my screen? So let me know if you can hear it too. Okay. When I hear diabetes, this is all I think of. This is a commercial that came out like a long time ago.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Thank you, Wilford. Diabetes.
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 Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Diabetes. Diabetes.
So, you got diabetes.
Something's supposed to what we are set we can break it down. You know when specific
it is really a start off, right? It's all in the chain. Diabetes happens first in your gut because it's mainly a lifestyle disease. We can say it's hereditary because lifestyles run in the bloodline. So if I have a dad who feed me with McDonald's, sugar, sodas, all through my childhood up to my young adulthood, I am going to manifest what he manifested. So that's why we say it's hereditary. However, if anyone really is disciplined with their lifestyle and maintain good, healthy living, they would beat diabetes even if their father and their mother and every one of their family once had diabetes. So it is hereditary because lifestyle is in the bloodline. That is why we have diabetes. Now, there's one interesting part that this commercial that you hit didn't touch, and that's the fact that parasites can really cause huge damages to the pancreas, right? When we get diabetes, all we hear is sugar, right? Diabetes isn't sugar. Diabetes is your pancreas being eaten, being chewed up by some parasite. Now, yeah, most people have different connotation to it, but this is what experience has taught me over here. Now, all of these parasites that stays up in the gut and build up over time with our wrong food choices, they find their way. They're not just going to remain in the gut. They are going to move from the gut move to different organs. And I tell you, the first place they want to go to is the liver. So most of the time, a lot of people, what they deal with, they once had issues with the liver, right? Because they fed it with so many toxic things, with doing drugs, with doing smoking.
Test. Okay, audio's down. Okay, so.
Test. Are we good?
Yep, let's see. Okay, so Doc, the question, could you start back over where you mentioned that parasites, diabetes is not just about sugar, it happens to be involved with parasites as well. So could you touch back on that again?
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, one part that commercial didn't touch is that diabetes isn't sugar. Diabetes is parasite eating the pancreas, damaging the essential part of the pancreas. Now, you want to ask, how does this parasite get in? This parasite gets in through the gut, through what you consume, through unhealthy living, right? Bad and dirty environment. So when you have so much alcohol, smoking, processed foods, high carbs, lots of meat, all of those packed up in the gut and create an acidic atmosphere, makes the body become acidic, and then parasites start to thrive within the gut walls. And when this parasite thrives over a while, they start to float through the lymphatic system, and their first stop is the liver. When they come over to the liver, they do lots of damage. That's why everyone who have manifested diabetes of any type had once in a time had issues with the liver. Now, this parasite disintegrate from the liver and start to travel, because they don't want to stay in one area. They want to dominate. So they start to travel through the opening towards the bile duct. And now the bile duct and the pancreas share, same pathway. It's just like traveling in a road, and you get the bile duct and you get the pancreas as well. So when they travel towards this area, they get sucked up into the pancreas and also get sucked up into the bile duct. And now here it is the big damage. When they get into the pancreas, these parasites are known for scavenging. So what do? They start to scavenge the tissues that are in the pancreas. And when these tissues get to be savaged, the beta cells, the alpha cells, and the delta cells, they get chewed up, they get really damaged. Now, the beta cells is responsible for producing insulin, right? So these beta cells are what accept glucose when you consume high starchy content, carbs. Now, this glucose, when the beta cells open up and accept them, then your body is in good check. But however, due to damage of the beta cells, as this glucose gets in excess, it closes. Now, it's like the bloodstream is bringing glucose straight up, and it's supposed to branch here at the beta cells. But the beta cells is damaged. There's no walls anymore. So it can get in. So the glucose is then trapped in the bloodstream. And when glucose is trapped in the bloodstream with nowhere to go, you have insulin resistance. So you're saying when the beta cells don't accept glucose, the body has become insulin resistant. And this is diabetes, when your body no longer wants to process glucose anymore. So what do your doctor do? They give you some metformin out of the pills, give you some insulin shots, just to create an artificial environment for the pancreas where it needs to it acts as if it is accepting the sugar. Meanwhile, the sugar in natural sense is still trapped within the bloodstream. That's why those pills don't reverse diabetes. They only manage it, and in so managing, they think it's cool. Now, here's the big part. Those parasites have to be detoxed out. Inflammation, all of those processes, the scavenging that happens in the pancreas, they create inflammation for the pancreas. And this inflammation in the pancreas is going to create lots of damage. So there's step-by-step ways of reversing diabetes, because diabetes indeed is reversible. So this is just a breakdown. We can jump on it, and then you got a bunch of questions that you want to ask. But I just wanted to establish the fact that when people hear about diabetes, they shouldn't just straight up look to sugar, right? There's so much that is happening in the gut, and the gut is the genesis of every disease. That's why if we don't want to manifest diabetes, if we don't want to manifest cancer and high blood pressure and all the deadly diseases that we keep hearing, we must be watchful of what gets to the gut. And not only be watchful, even when we do the barest minimum of healthiness, we also have to ensure that we set up a system where the gut is detoxed, because we don't want to risk the fact that there's parasite within the gut, right? If there's parasite there, there's one thing for sure: in that person's lifetime, is going to manifest diabetes. And it's a big industry, it's a big business. You know how much people spend yearly on pharmaceutical products for managing diabetes? Billions of dollars. So I just I'm not saying that nobody don't use your doctor's prescription. What I'm saying is that be a critical thinker. If your doctor is getting paid off managing diabetes for you, why don't you think critically about how to reverse diabetes? This is what the video is all about.
Ooh, so now hold on, let me share my window here, because this there's a lot of money being made here. Okay, so diabetes is, which tab is this? So just Google how much money is used on diabetes yearly. So the U.S. alone, and then this is just U.S. alone. We ain't even touched on everywhere else in the world, just the U.S. In the U.S. alone, the total annual economic cost of diabetes is estimated $412.9 billion, not million, billion, in 2022 alone, comprising of $306.6 billion in direct medical costs and 106.3 billion in indirect costs. So it's costing more people indirectly than it is directly. This includes medication, supplies, and reduced productivity, with people with diabetes spending an average of $3,300 to $4,600 out of pocket annually? Bruh, what's the point of the insurance? Globally, health expenditures for diabetes reaches roughly $1 trillion. Oh my God!
Now, that's where we be, right? That's where we be, and they're not so much critical thinker, and that's why this huge resources is domiciled in diabetes as a disease. Who is going to be the critical thinker? The critical thinker are the ones that reverse diseases. Every disease is reversible. Understand the genesis of it and kill it from the root cause. Everything you attack from the root don't survive. If you cut a tree on the branches, the tree is still going to be alive. But when you dig around the root of the tree and cut all of its root, that tree is not going to survive, even when the rain comes. So this is why it's important to be critical thinker, because when you think, you think out the genesis. Always keep the word in mind, the genesis. And here's it. There's no magical thing to this. Every genesis you will discover will point to what happens in your kitchen. Your kitchen is your pharmacy. If you're spending $3,300 to $4,600 annually out of pocket, that's not on insurance, that's out of pocket. If you invest that in natural stuff in your kitchen, you would reverse diabetes in less than 1 year. So this is the deficit of information, and this deficit of information is what is giving rise to so much profit on diabetes. A lot of firms are profiting off diseases. Now, we have to say no. Whenever there's a revolution, there's a change. We have to be health revolutionaries, right? Championing a change. And when that change comes, everything aligns. The herbs, the food, the water, the timing. Because here's it, if you want to reverse this, it has to do with your diet, it has to do with your herbs, it has to do with your timing. What do you do with your time? Do you just sit on the couch in front of the video game when you're off work and, and spend 8 hours straight up sitting down? Or you go over to work, you all through your time at work, you are stationed on the chair and, focused on one routine, hitting watching the screens, mental work in one position. See, all of those are what you do with your time, what you do with your food, and what you do with the herbs that God has given us is what will determine if you reverse diabetes or if you continue living with it. Why continue living in diabetes when there's the chance that you can naturally reverse it?
So first off, Doc, I will say this: friendly fire will not be tolerated. It felt like you were sitting 8 hours a day. I'm like, that's me. Come back home, play the video game. That's me. I'm like, dang, he just throwing nothing but bullets my way. But I get you. What would you say the fact that? So you said something that I feel like a lot of people would just be shocked to hear. So the fact that you could reverse diabetes simply by focusing on what you eat and what you're putting in your body in the kitchen. Would you say most people hearing that would not believe that? They're like, no, that's not possible. No.
Yeah, okay, here's it. This is it. When the parasite gets in the pancreas, they love iron, they love manganese, they love every alkaline minerals that are present in the pancreas. Pancreas has lots of iron within it and some manganese as well. They don't like calcium. The parasite that attacks the pancreas don't like calcium. They love iron. They love manganese. Now, when they eat all of those out, and there's no food for the pancreas anymore, inflammation steps in. Now, food is how you correct the deficit in minerals. If there's mineral deficit within the pancreas, you correct it with food. You don't correct it with chemicals. If you bring in chemicals into the body, because the body wasn't designed to assimilate chemicals, it will burn out. When it's burn out, you go back to Genesis and you need chemicals again, right? So with food, you can fuel your restoration and initiate the reversal, because food is medicine. It comprises of different minerals and vitamins. The pills that the doc gave, what are they? They're a chemical compound of different artificial minerals, right? So if they are bringing the artificial minerals, why don't you initiate and embrace the original minerals? The original minerals is the original healing. So that's why with your food and with the herbs, you will reverse diabetes. Go back. First of all, clean out the gut, kill the parasite, cut down inflammation, right? And then heal the pancreas. The way you heal the pancreas, when you heal the pancreas, you restore insulin sensitivity. The beta cells becomes relaxed and keep up with the operation of receiving glucose, excessive glucose within the bloodstream. And when this is absorbed into the beta cells, your blood sugar stays stabilized naturally. Don't do it artificially, but you can do it naturally. I know you're scared of discipline. That's the biggest part. Nobody wants to key in with discipline. We all want to wish it. And the truth is, you can eat your cake and still have it in your hand. When you eat your cake, it's gone. If you don't want to eat all of the cake, then reserve some of it on your hand. So you need discipline to be able to really reverse all of this. Like nobody's a saint, we're not, so to say, Jesus. We're humans, right? We've been acclimatized to what society has made available for us. That's why I know that everyone should grow their own food. Everyone should understand what food is, because when we understand what food is, we will overturn a whole lot of issues. Know your food, heal yourself.
And I'm basically just I'm trying to show people the I guess the duplicity here, or at least so I consider when you talk, Doc, it's like you're more in touch with nature, and from my background, I'm just more in touch with like technology, computers, and stuff like that. So my Google food is strong, so I'm pretty good at like being able to research and stuff like that. So I just want to pull up information like people like I don't believe what you're saying, blah blah. Hey, it's fine. Hey, you can research whatever, but I'm pulling up something at least show people there is at least some truth in what you say. So I found this document here that's posted on biorxiv.org. So typically I was taught back in the day, if you were studying anything research-wise, anything that has a .org, .gov are typically more truthful-ish, simply because .com could be a company and that's for profit. Typically .orgs are organizations that have to be they're more predisposed to like having more truthful information on the site, simply because of the type of organization is. .org, .gov are seen more truthful. But made back in March 27th of 2024, just microorganisms have long been suspected to influence the outcome of immune-related syndromes, particularly autoimmune diseases. Type 1 diabetes, T1D, results from the autoimmune destruction of the pancreatic islets, insulin-producing beta cells, causing high glycemia levels. Genetics is part of its etiology, but environmental factors, particularly infectious microorganisms, also play a role. It was shown that bacteria, viruses, and parasites influence the outcome of T1D in mice and humans. We have used the non-obese diabetic mouse that spontaneously develops T1D to address the influence of a parasitic infection. I can't pronounce this. Leishmanian, whatever the word's right here. I can't pronounce it. But again,
somewhat, I like the fact that you pull this up. So it touched deeply again on untreated infection. A lot of humans we do things halfway. We never get it done, and anything that you do not get done might create a problem. It's like not completely killing a snake and put it in your bag. So you don't keep a half-dead snake in the bag. It's gonna sting you from there. It's not there, so you gotta kill it off. So all of those untreated infections, they play a high role, not just in the formation of reproductive infections, right? Even with other organs, your lungs, your kidneys, your livers. The infections don't just get trapped in the reproductive alone. They flow, they move, they have a free lines. Your body has over 80% of water. As long as there's water, they are going to travel. And when they travel to some areas, they are going to scavenge on some tissues. That's why we must clear off infection. I don't know what anybody is going to say, but I believe we know the truth. We have more critical thinkers today than before COVID-19. So basically, we are updated. We know what's the truth. We know that the only way to get back to 100% is to retract back what we eat. I have people actually who say to me that they can't eat right? They don't even. Somebody said to me that when they eat fruit, they get allergic. I say, really? You get allergic to fruit? And he said, I know that's someone who doesn't want to come out of bad living. At the end of the day, they create issues for themselves. And so all this stress on us on food, fruits, and if we have to touch on fruits as well, we were told that, fruits will spike up your blood sugar, blah, 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 blah. Well, the type of fruit, the type of fructose that the body gets from fruit is totally different from what you get from white sugar. So that is easily assimilated than the white sugar. So clean up your diet, and then you clean up disease. All these are real. Parasites is causing damage in your pancreas, and you have to clean up the gut first of all, because the gut has a connection with the activity of the parasite in any organs of your body, right? So if some of this parasite gets to attack your thyroids, then they create like an autoimmune disease. All your body starts to fight itself. There's abnormality. So the parasites can be anywhere, not just your pancreas. They can attack. Remember, they attack the liver first. They cause indigestion as well. And when any human body gets into indigestion mode, that's scary. That's disease. That's an acidic state because you're not flowing. The body is designed to be in a state of flow. That's why God gave us a lymphatic system to keep us in flow. So when that flow is static, when that flow is clogged, then we create a room for manifestation of different disease. Remember the word when they say static water breeds trouble? Yeah. So when your body is not flowing, it breeds trouble. And this trouble, it can be in bit by bit. It looks as if you're doing well, nothing is going on. And all of a sudden, they come knocking. And not just one, they come with full force. And there's a pack of the entire body. There's ground. And no man gets to hustle anymore. If you ask some brothers and some sisters now, what's the essence of you living? They say they want to make money. Why do you want to make money? They say, oh, of course, I want to take care of myself, take care of my family, make sure everybody good. So at the end of the day, you ask, how do you make them good? You say, yeah, pay bills. What type of bills you pay? The first top 3 bills is food, is medicine, and water, because those are essential. So you see, they fall under health. So this is the essence of living, to be alive. We have to keep living and eating to live. We can't live and eat to feed the flesh, because if you feed only the flesh, then you are going to breed trouble for your soul. Because when disease comes, not just your body suffers, the soul suffers. Because purpose drain becomes dead. You're dealing with diabetes. You're having to deal with lower energy. You're dealing with lots of fatigue. Nerves are attacked. It's still a form of autoimmune disease, because there's a dysfunction in the pancreas. It affects the harmony of the body. So we have to guard it, and guarding it is doing right.
I'm really just shocked because it's a wonderful little conversation, because I'm like seeing there's a lot of ignorance on my part too, and I like to try not to be as ignorant as I can be. So you mentioned something that I feel like I need to touch on. What is it? So for people who may not know, because again I don't really know the difference. So I got it pulled up here. So Doc, what is the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes, both in essence of what they are and I guess how you get them? And after that, could you explain to me what exactly does blood sugar have to do with diabetes? I know blood sugar, diabetes, those are one and the same. You got to know what that is in order for you to deal with diabetes. If you don't know what your blood sugar is, you could probably die. Worst case. I don't know why. Could you explain to me why blood sugar matters? And I guess what does blood sugar also mean to a normal person? So first, type 1 and type 2 diabetes. What are those and what's the difference?
So when type 1, type 2 is more like a resistance in insulin. When I was talking, I talked about like a pipe, a bloodstream, all right, carrying sugar in form of glucose, because the body recognizes sugar as glucose. When it breaks it down, it's supposed to, the tissues, which is your cells, specifically the beta cells, are supposed to accept it. Now, when the beta cells are closed against accepting sugar, accepting glucose, then that's manifestation of type 2 because there's a resistance in insulin. But when it has to do with type 1, it means the beta cell is damaged that it can't even produce insulin. So
Whoa. Okay, so this is
on the other part, it can collect insulin from the bloodstream. Now, you went on to ask blood sugar, why is it important? I talked about the alpha cells. Now, the alpha cells produces the hormone that sends an alert because an alert of what the extent of the blood sugar is. What's the extent of the glucose in your bloodstream? So that alert system comes from the alpha cells. So it's important because the bloodstream carries all of the minerals, right? They absorb it. That's why they say there's life in the blood. The minerals in the blood gives the blood life. So and that minerals are frequencies. And the frequency, if there's a deficiency of a frequency, or if there's too much presence of one specific frequency, it distorts the harmony of the flow. So that's why blood sugar is very integral to monitor. And the only way you see all of those quick monitor, those quick check. Now, the information that the technology produces comes from the alpha cell. So that's what we have to understand properly about how the flow is.
Good Lord. Okay, so all right, so what had me shocked when I was, hold on, which one was it? Let me go back. So this is my ignorance here. If I'm incorrect here, that's fine. I don't give a damn. I thought type 1 and type 2, this is all I was taught. The difference between them, one is acquired, one you're fucking born with. That's not what this says.
That's not true.
So I know for a fact I was taught this in school. Like I can't tell you what book I pulled up, but it said type 1 and 2, the difference was one was acquired, like you got it, and the other one you just were born with. So I'm like, you either get it or you're born with it. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I wasn't born with it, and I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna get it because I'm fat, but I do a lot of sports and stuff like football, wrestling. Like I'm big, but I use my size for some purpose. So it's like, all right, I don't see me getting it, but again, never got it. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm doing pretty good. So this is my ignorance. I didn't, and an autoimmune reaction where the immune system destroys. I'm like, wait, one destroys shit? The only virus I'm aware of that destroys anything is fucking AIDS, because you get HIV and then HIV becomes AIDS, and then at that point it's your T cells are just destroying themselves because they think your T cells is the virus, and your T cells are needed to fight off viruses. So it's just like, damn, the ones that's supposed to fight off shit is fighting each other. So right. Ignorance on Barbarossa's part. I didn't know type 1 was yo shits are destroying your immune. God dang. Diabetes with type 1 is scary. Jesus. Okay, so I gotta ask this intrusive question. I'm curious. I hear a lot of people that get diabetes at some point they lose a body part. It gets amputated. Why? What does getting amputated have shit to do with anything?
Yeah, those are never attack, right? So in the case of somebody dealing with diabetes, I've had series of clients with that, who contacted me after, they amputated one leg, or they took out, even in one case, both legs was taken out. And this has to do with never attack. It's a dangerous one because here, the deficiency in the pancreas doesn't stop. The damage of the pancreas don't stop there, right? It's infections all around the body. So as they keep chewing and damaging different organs in the body, they create an infection mode. The different cells becomes infected, and which can dangerously affect nerves. And when nerves are attacked, it becomes really dangerous. So you have little people, their skin becomes really sensitive. They just get a little cut. It can be more like a scratch, but the cells aren't healing because glucose, excessive glucose within the bloodstream doesn't allow the minerals that will help in healing of those tissues really flow. There's already infection, so any little cut creates an infection. So sometimes the infection goes haywire and there's nothing that can be done anymore. It looks as if the infection is spreading all around the leg, and it's like, okay, if you don't take out that part that is infected, I'm sorry, every part of the body is going to be affected as well. People dealing with cancer also get to deal with this as well. They get amputated for this cause. That's because there's a viral infection around specific areas that the parasite has metamorphosed to. So it doesn't stop in the pancreas, it goes beyond the pancreas. If the damages are not checked, then nerves are attacked. When nerves are attacked, skins, tissues, everything that is related to the body, everything. So that amputation, you can also liken it to be like an autoimmune, because the body was designed to heal itself, but now the body is not healing anymore. And because it's not healing anymore, you have to quickly chop that part off. It's like having your bread fall on the sand and it looks all dead, and you start to pull it and you start to pull it and you pull it and take out the bad part, that you feel is dusty. So we got, I remember when we were small, we had that as well. So you start to take out the part, that fall to the sand and try to clean it up. So that's the reason why a lot of amputation happens, because they want to take off the part that is contaminated. They don't want it spreading to everywhere.
Okay, so wait. So does that technically mean, so I'm already thrown off. I'm still trying to recover from the fact that type 1 is essentially an autoimmune one. So it's like messing up your body's ability to fight off infection and stuff. So okay, I get that. So does that technically mean this feels like in of itself these two conditions to be separate? It shouldn't be type 1 or 2. 2 doesn't. So is type 2 not? You have insulin resistance, but does that mean you still can fight off infection?
Let's not confuse ourselves and try to make it look as if, we have two different diseases. Hey, here's it. There's an attack on the pancreas. Type 1, type 2 is an attack on the pancreas. Both pancreas, the pancreas has been compromised. How does the pancreas react to that compromise? That's where it gets separated. You get diabetes type 1, you get diabetes type 2. It's not as if separate things are happening. It is one organ that has cells in it. And one of the cells, the damage in one of the cells manifests a different symptom. And the damage in the other cells manifests another symptom. One is insulin resistance. The other one is full-blown parasitic manifestation. So all of the symptoms comes in the line of a parasitic manifestation. So let's not treat it as though they are two different things. In holistic medicine, we understand that the body is a whole, and the whole has sections, and these sections are approached with holistic solutions that address specific organs, and not just try to say, okay, we want to attack different symptoms. So if holistic medicine follow the line of, type 2, type T6, type 1, then we will mix it. We will be fighting the symptom, and the goal for us is not to attack the symptom, because that's what the disease wants us to do. The disease wants us to fight the symptom, because it knows when we fight the symptom, we will never win. So we focus on healing the pancreas in general, right? Than, trying to navigate and know what's best for type 1 and what's best for type 2. That makes sense?
Yeah, okay, I'm tracking. All right. So now I have to ask, because I don't think I fully know now. What does insulin do? If I'm ignorant, let me know. I thought insulin is used by the body. It's the chemical the body uses to break down sugar in any form.
You're correct. That insulin is a hormone. Right? This hormone helps in balancing sugar levels. They inhibit excess sugar and let the bloodstream carry what is essential. They are there because even God knows we have a craving, and this craving sometimes can be bad for us. So He created a system within us that produces a hormone, the hormone that inhibits excessive sugar. So insulin is there to inhibit excessive sugar. That's why you see medicine, scientific medicine has been able to concise it into a shot or a tablet. You introduce insulin because you want it to inhibit sugar. So, yes.
Okay, sorry, my mic was off. My bad. So I guess I'm trying to figure out, is it insulin? I was like, so sugar. How is, I guess, sugar needed or used by the body? Because I guess there's good and bad sugar. Like sugar from like fruits and stuff like that would be more good than like bad sugar from like candies, Snickers, crap like that. So what does the body use sugar for?
Yeah, the body needs sugar for energy. Like sugar, glucose is the burst of energy. I can tell you that's what we're using to engage yourself. You need glucose for even mental work. You can, without glucose, there's fatigue. That's why an excess of it will create a scenario of fatigue, because it becomes too much and the body starts to misbehave. But the core essence of glucose within the body is to release energy level. It is the body's hormone that triggers the ability to get work done.
Okay. So that's okay. So that's why you like, that's why when you kids and you eat a whole bunch of sugar, they're just jumping all over the walls. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just look at those kids after they have ice cream and they've had candy or chocolate, and they can flip, and you're wondering like, hey guy, where you got the strength from? Well, it's sugar. It releases dopamine, and this dopamine is making them extra active. That's why mostly, if you look at the pills that comes, some of these pills are made with starchy content, and the starchy content breaks down as sugar as well, because they want the body to quickly use whatever is whatever constituent is in the compound to quickly attack it. So the glucose is the binder. It binds those pills and it quickly takes it to work and moves it around the body and go to whatever department it was intended for. So sugar is good, but excess of it is bad. And what type of sugar, the kind of sugar you have in your body would also determine, if you're good or not. Like the sugar that comes from fruits, that's a balanced sugar. Your body was designed to break down such sugar easily. It's not in excess, but it is the white sugar that comes from all the artificials that really create artificials, like the coloring, the food coloring, all those fake ingredients as well, chemicals that are in the food. Those are the ones that are bad. Now, beta cells don't want to accept that because that is compromising it, and the sugar ends up trapped within the bloodstream, and that just creates more problem for the body. So we have to understand this. That's why high carb foods, it's not good. If you're dealing with diabetes, you should know by now that you need to eat foods that are low in glycemic index. Food like quinoa, food like fonio. Those are the type of foods to consume, not white rice, because the white rice is sugar itself. It's killing your body. So you have to cut out the white rice, take out all of those white bread, cookies that you keep having, the sodas that you keep having. They are eating the body up. So we all have to understand that critical thinkers would even check out labels, because some of the foods we buy and they are named to be real natural food, some of them have sugar, in the ingredients, and we have to break out of all of this. So eat natural, try to eat natural, know your farmer. If you are not the farmer, then know the farmer. Don't just rely on a grocery shop, who supplies you what you need and say it's healthy. Don't forget, the food industry is over $1 trillion. And I tell you, every Dick and Harry is keying into that, and they don't really care about what you feel. They just want to make money. So be careful with sugar, as it has to do with your entire human body. It will do so much damage. And if anyone is dealing with infection, dealing with viruses, sugar feeds disease, because sugar creates an acidic environment for the human body.
So in relation to the sugar, now what exactly happens if the body doesn't make enough insulin, or the body stops responding to it properly?
Come again?
What happens if the body doesn't make enough insulin, or if the body stops responding to it properly? If you have too much sugar in you.
If the body is not producing enough insulin, right, and there's excess sugar within the bloodstream, that's diabetes. All right, then you get obesity, right? You get erectile dysfunction. You get fibroids. You get hormonal imbalance, both for men and women. You get decline in testosterone levels. You get irregular menstruation for the women. It goes on and on. It's damaging, right? Sugar is damaging. Sugar is the number one enemy of the human body. So sugar can be found in the eyes. They can transport themselves to the eyes, to the thyroid, to the lymphatic, the gut, the pancreas, kidney, liver, everywhere. So they attack everywhere. Primarily, sugar is what disease feeds off. So when there's excessive sugar, whatever is wrong with the human body, they get fed. They are like eating like a 3 square meal a day. That's what you understand, because they pollute the body, and the more the body is polluted, the more disease thrives. Disease don't thrive in an alkaline body, they thrive in an acidic body. So sugar creates the acidic body, and fruits, vegetables, low glycemic food, intermittent fasting, they create an environment for an alkaline flow, which mitigates the effect, which reverses that disease within the human body.
So I had a slow moment here, because I was like, I had a little note scribbled here. I'm like, what is this? Okay, so diabetes, there's type 1, type 2. Diabetes in of itself is essentially, you can just say it's, correct me if I'm wrong, it is essentially the pancreas is compromised, and the way it reacts is one of two ways, and it's type 1 or type 2, correct?
Right.
Okay, so type 1 is the autoimmune reaction, where it's just attacking the immune system, which is wild. I did not know that. And 2 is when insulin is where your body has an insulin resistance, or it has a resistance to the pancreas has a resistance to insulin. I'm trying to see which way it is. What has resistance?
It's an insulin resistance. It means the pancreas is not producing insulin anymore. That inhibits excess sugar. Remember that insulin is the hormone that inhibits excessive sugar. Inhibit, it means it absorbs. So, and when the pancreas, specifically the beta cells, the cells in the pancreas, the beta cells in the pancreas is responsible for opening up and accepting excess sugar. Now, when the beta cells get short, that process of getting short and the excess sugar is trying to find its way, but the doors is shut. That process is known as insulin resistance.
Okay, I'm tracking now. All right, so what does it mean to be pre-diabetes? What is that?
Okay, pre-diabetes is saying that there's no full manifestation of disease, but there are signs. So, when you have signs, it's different from when you have active symptoms. See that the acceptability of the pancreas is low. Now, if the pancreas is supposed to be fighting off parasites, through the immune system, but it's slowly losing its power. The body is in pre-diabetes state. So, like it is pre-diabetes, it means the body is walking towards it. It's like a straight road and a free fall. It's falling straight up to it. It's the body's warning system. That system is saying to you that, you got a reasonable high amount of sugar, excess sugar, glucose within your bloodstream. You have to find a way to create more insulin that will inhibit this excess sugar. And if that is not created, you get really compromised.
Okay, so say if I am presently, I don't know, maybe I'm in a state of pre-diabetes, what does that look or feel like? So if my body is in pre-diabetes state, sorry. If it's in a pre-diabetic state, what does I look like?
Okay, for some people, they get spots, right? It can be spots on their neck. It can be like a map. It's usually dark, or it can be like a very black armpit. The armpit becomes really dark. Those are the physical signs. Like I said, they are not symptoms, they are signs. So dark armpit, dotted neck, dark patches in the neck, all those are just symptoms. But in terms of actively having a symptom inside the body that is suggestive of pre-diabetes, there's no manifestation of symptoms yet, but there are signs that the manifestations are on the way.
So yay! Ain't got no spot. Look, I'm doing pretty good. And look, I'm about to say I should be with all this damn cardio I've been doing. Crap. So what are some things like? Hold on, wait, hold on. I'm jumping around. I have questions. You have questions here for a reason, dumbass. Sorry. Okay. What is? I don't know why I put this. What is gestational diabetes, and why can it happen during pregnancy? Okay, that's why. Sorry. What is gestational diabetes, and why can it happen during pregnancy?
Okay, this is specifically for women. So this has to do with the intestines, right? So this is more specifics on food and also on parasites. I want to take it out from the parasitic mode. Like I told you before, the parasites they start up from the gut and they travel. Now, when they travel, they attack wherever they want to attack. Remember, if it starts up in the gut, it can also stay in the gut, and the baby coming in right there staying in the womb changes the flow of the body. So chances are the pathways are blocked. The usual pathways for it are blocked. So it stays up within, the larger intestines and starts to, chew on the intestines. And when it does this, it creates this. It creates the environment where lots of our food, which are high in glucose, are trapped, and they just tend to release all of this excessive sugar around the intestinal glands, and this becomes really severe and dangerous for the woman, because she needs a controlled mineral level within the body. So that's more like how it flows. So it's an attack. It's a parasitic attack on the larger intestine that creates a flooding of excess sugar, within that gut axis.
And I have a side note here for the ladies. And what exactly, what would that mean for the I'm guessing the child would be affected by this too, or just the mom, or is it separate?
Whatever happens to the woman happens to the child. So the child is not immune from what happens to the woman. So if the woman is having a case of an attack, an excessive flow of glucose within the body, it affects the child too. And these are cases where I've seen cases with children who have, deficiency, the high rise of autism, ADHD, kids coming out with various forms of deficiency. You got some with weak limbs. You got some, with weak mental state, which is clearly autism. So the cases of autism are also relatable to gestational diabetes, and this is what women really need to watch. That's why during pregnancy, you always have to check the vitals, check the blood sugar level, check the blood pressure level, because you want to keep that baby safe. You don't want to alter what it takes, because as your body takes it in, the baby takes it in as well. So every woman should be watchful and check on their blood sugar level. It is very important, very important. And the brothers who get to hear this, your wife is pregnant, keep her in check. You're a leader in the home. You have to be in the forefront. Let her know that she got to check her blood sugar level, and if there's gestational diabetes, then that sugar level has to be checked, so the child doesn't assimilate excess sugar that is damaging to its very fragile, newly developing organs.
So Lord, you ladies, please out there, do you, but I can't really be saying it, but just, check your sugar, whatever. I don't know. You heard Doc, you heard him. Listen to him, not me. And are there any, and are all types of diabetes caused by the same thing, or do they happen for different reasons?
Yeah, we've established that fact that parasites can cause diabetes. Lifestyle parasites, they work the same, because your lifestyle gives birth to the parasites movement in the body. And also, no, not just lifestyle, we can also get these parasites from pets, and some animals as well. Some snails has this parasite that attacks the pancreas. Dogs have it because they get it too from exposure when they defecate, and when they vomit out and take that back in. The cats also have it. So these parasites that attack the pancreas can also be getting from pet animals. So some of you, even if you're eating right and you've been exposed to this type of parasites, you can definitely get attacked by it, and that's why we have to watch out for it. So it's a lifestyle disease. It's not something we can say. Infection, viruses. It's a lifestyle disease, because the manifestation of your lifestyle can be in different form, right? It can, but one of the biggest forms is that your lifestyle can give birth to parasites, which can really fasten the manifestation of diabetes.
Right. So
your sugar is giving birth to parasites, essentially.
And in relation to all of the different things you can do to prevent it, like, is it always caused by bad eating, or can it just be genetics, family history, stress, age, weight?
Yeah, let me say it's always about eating. If you look at what you just said, if you talk about genetics, right, and you talk about weight, and you talk about everything is interwoven. I started off earlier to say that diabetes is not hereditary. Essentially, it's not like you transfer diabetes to yourself, right? What you were eating as a mother from the child. Now the child comes up and is placed on those baby formulas. Those baby formulas are essentially high in sugar. He gets a little stronger. He eats all of those candies, ice cream, cookies, and it's all on those sugar. So you see, it's not essentially genetics. It's what you've passed down because you are unhealthy. So I rule that out because I think it's lifestyle. If lifestyle is fixed by one individual, then the next generation don't get it. So it's transferable. So if you don't want your future kids to get on with diabetes, then you have to pay the price for discipline. You have to pay the price to ensure that your body is in a harmonic flow and not essentially giving rise to one mineral, glucose, and give it so much rise that it starts to cause havoc for the body. So it is genetics. It can be transferred because lifestyle is transferred in the blood. So the bloodstream, that forms you as a man, your sperm as a man feeds off essentially all the minerals that in the body. And when you put that in the woman, it goes fertilizing the egg, fuses with the egg, and the baby starts to form. So what you eat gets in the woman and also determine what your baby carry, because your lifestyle is captured in the sperm and is transferred from the woman to the eggs you produce. Your lifestyle is captured in there. I know every woman say, "Oh, I'm a sweet tooth." You got to watch out for your kids as well, because if the man is coming in with so much sugar in his sperm and you're coming in with so much sugar in your egg and you're fusing it in, what that is going to breed up is a body that little sugar would cause diabetes, because what formed that individual was a high glucose concentration. So it comes up actively ready to manifest diabetes. So it's lifestyle. If one individual, put the control on unhealthiness once, we set the next generation. And if the next generation do same, the other generation will say. So this is the type of conversation we have to be having in families. If you got siblings, if you got kids, if you got parents, if you are parents, these are the type of conversation we should be having, during, maybe after dinner or before dinner. Everybody's sensitized on how food determines how they live their life and what happens to their next generation. So you see, we can pinpoint and say, "Oh, diabetes is hereditary." What is hereditary is lifestyle. Lifestyle is captured in the bloodline.
So that's what they mean when they say life type 2 is connected to lifestyle. Okay. Okay, so this was one that I wanted to really touch on because I was shocked by this one. So how can you basically, you know how some people can basically look healthy and still have blood sugar problems?
That's because the body doesn't. It takes a long while before disease starts to manifest. It doesn't just manifest overnight. Even somebody dealing with human immune virus, right? The HIV, it don't manifest overnight. It takes a while. It goes through different phases before the symptoms becomes glaring. So the same goes for every disease. It starts like a play. It starts from a clap, and then it gets to a dance and becomes really serious. So you can have somebody looking healthy, skin shining, he's 40, he's full of energy, he's hitting purpose, he got vibrant kids, everything going on, and so he gets 45 and he's been diagnosed with diabetes, and everything started to change for him. And so this is why checking ourselves, right? Checking your height, your weight, your blood pressure, the sugar level are very, very important. I think technology has really helped us to get that done. And one of these days we will solve how to check our body mass index, the BDI. So the BDI would help us to know, basically what level we are in terms of manifesting different diseases such as diabetes and high blood pressure. So we would solve that up. And we'll have like a board that we will be able to know from your home. You'll be able to determine by your height and your weight, right, what your body is saying in terms of you manifesting certain diseases.
Hey. So we already touched on it a little bit when we mentioned like what organs are affected by diabetes. Of course, it's mainly the pancreas, but it can also affect the different body parts like the heart, blood vessels, kidney, nerves, eyes, feet, hands, and things of that nature, because it's all related to like the nervous systems and even sexual performance.
Yeah, we only talked about erectile dysfunction for men. For women, they don't get flagged no more. Excess sugar within the blood doesn't help women secrete properly. So they don't hit the climax no more. And that's because there's too much sugar within the bloodstream. So you got many women in their prime, 20, 30, they don't get no juice anymore, and they know it. So sex becomes really painful. It becomes like a hard job, right? So take out sugar from your body, and the stream is gonna flow.
So you heard it here first, ladies. If you might need to check your blood sugar levels. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got to say. Try not to get flagged for being inappropriate.
I know, right?
Let me see. So the pancreas's main job, of course, is to help with. Okay, so let's just to be sure, I might be ignorant here. So its main job is to help with the regulation of excessive or just sugar, period.
Excessive, because the body needs it.
Okay, so its job is to process sugar and to help calm it down when you have an excessive amount of sugar. I'm actually shocked they don't talk about it here. You don't hear pancreas related to a lot when you hear diabetes, but why is the pancreas so important when they talk about diabetes?
Because that's the only organ that is responsible for producing what inhibits excess of sugar within the bloodstream.
Okay. So from a herbalist perspective, when someone has blood sugar problems, are you thinking only about sugar, or are you thinking about supporting the pancreas and the systems around it?
First of all, you have to support the pancreatic environment, the pancreatic organ itself, because when the parasite eats up some parts of the pancreatic organ, they create a very bad environment, and doing this, they still the pancreas sensitivity, what sensitizes the pancreas to release the production of the hormone known as insulin. So if there's inflammation in the pancreas, then there's nothing that you can do that will make any difference. So we have to first of all fight inflammation from the pancreas and clean out the gut. So when we do this, we're not essentially concerned about sugar, right? Because we know that if the pancreas produces enough insulin, then it can inhibit the sugar. So not to say that everybody should eat too much sugar because they are producing insulin. If you eat too much sugar, then you press the body's ability to produce insulin. So when you eat, it's just like putting a machine to work. When you keep a machine to working 24 hours, 24/7, the machine keeps working, it's working, never resting, right? And it's getting heavy loads all the time. It's going to pack, right? So this is the same with the pancreatic organs. So you support it by creating a sensitivity for it. This sensitivity helps it to understand its function again. That's after your fight of inflammation. When you fight off inflammation, then you then sensitize the pancreas. That sensitivity helps the pancreas to start to produce insulin again. And when insulin gets produced, then the body starts to harmonize again. You get that?
Yes, sir. Huh. So no eye affects circulation because it can. Okay, so just to clarify, is type 1 specifically the one that's more to do with like people having the wounds, numbness, or slow affecting with healing, or can 2 do that as well?
Both can do. Just that type 1 is usually synonymous with untreated infections, high level of toxicity that has to do with disintegration of parasites from different parts of the body rushing down to the pancreas.
Okay, so they both can do it. One is just more likely.
Yeah.
Okay, so can poor blood sugar control make it harder for blood vessels and nerves to do their job?
Yes, a high level of blood sugar causes the blood vessels to be agitated. Now, this is something that has to also do with nerves. That's why there's a nerve attack, because the presence of high level of sugar within the bloodstream creates discomfort for the blood vessels. And then you start to see blood vessels getting ruptured. Creates infection too, and this infection just makes it more difficult because inflammations are now going into different parts of the body through the blood vessels. The blood vessels in themselves are really, really affected. So high level of sugar doesn't necessarily, come to affect the pancreas alone. The blood vessels that are carrier of it suffers. It's just like carrying a high concentration of acid in your hand, is going to be pulling it and eating it up and eating it up and eating the palm and eating the palm. So that's what happens. That's where you have levels of nerve attacks, and you get a time where there's so much infection in a specific region. Those are blood vessels. Those infections, started up in the blood vessels. Blood vessels that have been agitated, they've been contracted, and because they are contracted, they start to tear. And when they tear and tear, scavengers, which are already present there, parasites, they start to scavenge on it, and infection shows up. In some cases, there's no flow anymore. The blood vessels become really cloggy, tired. They can't continue transfer. They're just static. Some cases, people go through amputation and all of that.
And those are the extreme cases. Hopefully, please let that not be the common. So we talked about women having the gestational diabetes and how that can affect the babies, and specifically how some women will need to check your blood sugar. I'm not saying it again. You rewind it. You know what I'm talking about. That's what we touched on a little bit about. How men, it can affect with specifically for men. We're going more on that. So for men watching this, how can diabetes affect performance and intimacy?
Well, here's it. It touches on what we just discussed a while ago. Every man should understand that if you're pre-diabetic or fully diabetic, you have a strong chance of getting ED. That's erectile dysfunction. Erection is rested on blood flow. Where there's little blood flow, there's erectile dysfunction. Where there's no blood flow, there's impotency. I've seen extreme cases where the D doesn't get up normal. There's nothing you can do about it. It's sleep. It has slept. A sleep of no return. That's when blood vessels are totally blocked. So high level of sugar within your blood, high level of glucose within your bloodstream, like I was saying, will restrict blood flow. When there's high level of glucose, it means nitric oxide will not be present there, and your blood vessels need enough nitric oxide to promote blood flow that is going straight up to your penis. So when you sleep, the blood vessels are supposed to champion and the flow of blood down to the reproductive organ. But because there's high level of sugar, it's agitated, it's not rested properly, it don't carry out its work. It's tired. The blood vessels are loose. They don't carry blood in a specific velocity, so they lose consistency at different transport checkpoints. So every man dealing with diabetes has a strong chance to deal with either erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation, and in some cases low sperm count. So low sperm count, erectile dysfunction, premature ejaculation. So you got some men who are dealing with diabetes, and because of this, because of high level of glucose within their bloodstream, unchecked glucose, they become impotent, they become infertile, they can't produce, they cannot impregnate a woman. So diabetes goes beyond just having pancreatic issues. They can cause more damages for men. Infertility is real, and diabetes is a sponsor of infertility as well. So checking blood sugar is ensuring that you are active down there. So if you still have lots of sugar within your body, that's why we can't treat nobody without doing a gut cleanse and a lymphatic cleanse, because that right there is expelling sugar out, is putting a stop to the migration of sugar within the bloodstream, is cutting off sugar at the root cause and saying no, we don't want to do anymore, and promoting the flow of nitric oxide within the bloodstream. Too much sugar takes out nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is needed for men, but to promote blood flow to the penis.
Well, if your men didn't catch that quite all the way, we do have things in place to assist with the herbs specifically for men dealing with the ED and stuff like that. But segueing perfectly into my next question, when someone asks if you have herbs for diabetes support, what kind of herbs do you use and why? I got some here. Hold on, let me. You can go ahead and talk, but I'm gonna pull up the herbs. I got it here somewhere. All right, Doc.
Okay. So basically, we have the Diabetes Pancreatic Support. Now, I break this into 5 sequences, right? In the gut, which is cleaning the gut, fighting of inflammation in the pancreatic region, restoring insulin sensitivity, and then supporting the pancreas, which is we can point that to like a repair of the pancreas. So this is it is central on cleaning the essentials. We have to first of all take out the bad guys, which are in the guts, the parasites, toxins, heavy metals that are in the gut and have found their way to the lymphatic system. So when this is done, we also have the process of the intracellular cleaning. The intracellular cleaning is what mops out inflammation in those cells, inflammation in the beta cells and the alpha cells, cleaning those tissues up, ensuring that we expel out all of the damages that the high level of glucose has caused within the bloodstream. So what we have is a systematic but sure way of reversing. It has to do with dieting, it has to do with herbs, and it has to do with timing, like how much do you eat. So you have to reduce how much time you eat, because people dealing with diabetes are always craving, right? It's a high craving for food. They want to feed their flesh. So we have specifically the bitter leaf in our package that is a strong sensitizer, as it promotes the production of insulin and supports the build-up of the pancreas. We also have the bitter melon, which is known, specifically for its gorilla style of providing support and fighting off pancreatic invaders such as parasites and even infections in most cases. So what we provide is a systemic way of reversing this disease. We put you specifically on a food guide, which is essentially your diet, an alkaline diet. We create an environment where your body becomes an alkaline state, and when this is done, we then initiate the support that your pancreas needs. Remember that when your pancreas produces good insulin and is receptive to accepting excess sugar that is in the bloodstream, then there's restoration for you. But when the reverse is the case, then disease gets more severe. So what we have is a strong support for you. Remember, we got the intracellular cleansing it, the gut cleansing it, and we check out all of the parasitic damages, and if it has to do with nerve issues, those nerve issues where the blood vessels are already being attacked and already compromised. The pancreatic support also provides support for cushioning the damaging effects in the blood vessels, thereby helping those nerve damages, whether it's eye related or leg related or hands related. You are able to cushion the effect using the diabetes pancreatic support. I say this, we do not lie with the herbs. The herbs are powerful, and they even become transformational when you do it rightly by eating rightly.
And
So
excuse me. I had water here and I was stupid. And it's all damn it on the counter. I'll go get it in a second. Can you explain the African bittermelon, the bitter leaf, moringa seeds, hold on, let me just.
pumpkin seeds, we got moringa seeds there, we got the velvet leaf, we have the African grape, right? And we also have in that mix the bitter leaf. The bitter leaf is very, very essential for it. So the African bitter melon, it's more like a rough cucumber shape, smaller than a cucumber, but really has this roughy part. It is meant to promote pancreatic support and sensitizing the pancreas to release insulin and cater for strength and provide strength for the beta cells and the alpha cells to really perform their function. It's one of the strongest medicinal ingredients in plant form that Africa has, that has helped her to manage and reverse diabetes in the most remote areas where there's no white doctors.
Note. I said, and so I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. So so basically, is there actually, the body needs a way to produce insulin? Is there like a food or any natural way that you can get like insulin? If say like if insulin is not readily available, what could someone else do to, I guess, simulate that, if that's possible?
No, see, one of the things that high glucose level do in the bloodstream, one of the damages it does is that it slows down your body's ability to assimilate essential minerals. Now, understand that there's your body runs on minerals. It doesn't run on eggs. It runs on a mineral that is found in egg, right? When egg comes into the body and the body doesn't interpret correctly what it's getting from the egg, right, then there becomes a misplaced priority. So this is one of the things we have to really understand. So in terms of insulin based food, when you're diabetic, just understand foods low on glycemic index are the best go to you, because they put less pressure on your gut system and on your pancreatic function. Your body don't struggle to try to contain and get worried, trying to contain excess sugar within the bloodstream. So in terms of what food specifically you think is good for people dealing with diabetes, here I would go. Whole grains such as quinoa, whole grains such as fonio. Fonio is an Asian grain that has been used for hundreds of years, by indigenous people, across Africa and, all over the world. So fonio, wild rice, right? So these are These are essentials for us. So you can, some legumes as well, good cruciferous vegetables. You have to eat vegetables, right? And fruits as well. Ignore those myths about fruit not good for you when you're diabetes. Well, I don't know. Even if you're diabetic, it doesn't stop the fact that your body still needs some sort of glucose to keep balance up. How do you do that? You do that by consuming the right glucose, the right sugar source, which are fruits. So your fruits, your vegetables, they are essential for you. So those are the ways that we, feed our body with the ability to produce insulin. So insulin would naturally be produced when the pancreas is in the right state, when we create the right environment for the pancreas.
As I try to look up the word, I don't know what it is. Let me see. I have one more question. Oh, a couple more just relation to like the herbs here. This one's important just because I don't know anything about medication, but I know some people mention it, so it's important to them. Should someone stop taking their medication because they're using the herbs?
That's a very good question. And now the herbs doesn't stop your medication. It doesn't interfere with it. Neither does your medication interfere with it. Here, some people have really high fasting sugar, which they cannot afford to keep going rise by the minute. Now, the herbs are not magical. The herbs, like we say, identify the genesis of it, cuts out the genesis of it, and provide a more robust solution for you. And over time, this solution becomes really glaring. So with the herbal support, it is brick upon brick. With the artificial support, it is first brick that gets collapsed after maybe 24 hours. So what you do is that you do the herbs apart. So maybe 1 hour after the herbs, you can use your medication. 1 hour before, 1 hour after the medication, you can do the herbs. So, but in most cases, we want people to be solely on the herbs over the course of the first. It's more like straight up herbs 3 days. If you have to do the meds, then do the meds. Measure up. If you've never used the herbs before, we want you to go straight up first 30 days. So go 30 days. In that 30 days, do 3 days on the herbs and do 1 day on your medication. That way you can be able to track and you can be able to maintain good numbers in terms of your sugar level in it. So the biggest takeoff of this section right here is that the herbs doesn't interfere and the medication doesn't interfere with the herbal protocol as well.
Okay, so they can just basically to responsibly taken, they can just either just take them as you mentioned, 3 days and then 1 day of the medication.
Yeah.
Okay.
This way they'll be able to track if what they're doing is really productive. Because I just hear somebody's mind saying, if I gotta use the medicine every day and use your herb, how do I know your herb is working? Right? So I just heard that whisper from the heart of somebody who is listening to this. So the basic is do the herbs 3 days and then do the medication 1 day. So it becomes 3 days on the herbal protocol, 1 day on your medicinal pill.
Okay, so it's easier to track. And should they monitor their blood sugar, talk to their doctor, and use the herbs as support instead of pretending diabetes is not serious?
Again on that question.
Should they monitor their blood sugar, talk to their doctor, and use the herbs as support instead of pretending diabetes is not serious?
Oh, diabetes is serious. They should check their sugar level all the time. If you're a man over the age of 40, you should be checking your blood sugar level regularly. In most cases, it's not even drug. We've seen people manifest disease in their 20s, in their young adult age, 18. That's because, unhealthiness is even carried out by young individuals, drugs, smoking, alcohol, processed foods, you name it. So some of them, the body becomes packed early and they start to manifest it. But in most cases, every man over the age of 40 should develop a routine for checking their blood sugar level and getting on their doc, and of course using the natural Diabetes Pancreatic Support. You need to go natural, because this, with nature, you have more long-lasting effect than with the artificial protocol, the metformin and all of those pills and the insulin shots that comes on you. So instead of you doing those temporary and spending over $5,000 per annum out of your pocket away from your insurance per annum, do something natural that will get you off spending those money repeatedly till the day you breathe your last breath. So why pay a tax to diabetes every year when you can actually get on a protocol, eat on it consistently, eat your food, and get to do away with diabetes completely without you repeating that process the next year again, right? So these are what we have to we have to say on this. Prioritize herbs. There's been a dramatic shift from the conventional, what we were told, because civilization changed the mentality of everyone, including Africans, right? We are not immune to it. There's been a huge shift. Civilization stole from us the ability to live above disease. Now, civilization has taught us to manage disease, to stay with disease, to act as if disease is a part of us. Meanwhile, disease isn't a part of us. So we must resist it. And the way to resist that is to bind with nature's provision for healing. Nature's provision for healing is what we got here on Send Me Herbs, the Diabetes Pancreatic Support. You should get it in your cabinet. You should lock in with our food guide as well, as it helps you, to prioritize what's good, what's not good, what is essentially good for you, what in minimal proportion you can allow, what to totally cut off from your body, a lifestyle to adopt as a routine. All these are captured in the program, and not just the herbs. So as you impact with the herbs, with the food, and of course with the transformation that comes with the information that we provide, such as this information we are providing now, you reverse diabetes, because we know that healing with herbs is not only in the physical, it goes to the soul as well, because your soul receives natural stuff and is energized because it comes from Mother Earth.
I guess my last closing question is basically just for someone watching this who just found out they have diabetes, or they're worried they might be heading in that direction. What is the first wise step that they should take?
Take a pause, look back where you're coming from, retrace your step back, and do what's right. Remember, diabetes is a build-up of unhealthiness, unhealthy eating, unhealthy habits build up into diabetes. So you have to take the reverse back. If you have to reverse diabetes, you have to reverse lifestyle. Look at what you eat consistently, more than twice every week, and you have to systematically cut down on that, specifically foods that are high in carbs. And you have to look up the word low glycemic index. Low, L-O-W, glycemic, G-L-Y, semic, C-E-M-I-C. glycemic index, INDEX. Look what that word is, and search up foods that are low in glycemic index. Foods like fonio, foods like quinoa, foods like wild rice or the brown rice, right? These are what you should eat. You should prioritize fermented foods as well. This will help you in the long run. So if you just got diagnosed with diabetes or your doctor is telling you you're pre-diabetes, don't freak out. Don't freak out. Look, reverse. And reverse, do everything opposite that you've done. If you've taken drugs, smoked, do alcohol, eat processed food, now do the opposite of that. Cut out those drugs, take out those alcohol, take out those smoking. Make a decision with yourself. I want to go, say, 90 days doing all the good stuff and not doing the bad stuff. Incorporate all of those essential fruits. Incorporate fruits, incorporate vegetables into your meal, right? Cut out dairy. You don't need dairy. You can have those integral plant-based dairy products like your almond milk, like your coconut milk. Cut out seeded oils. Stay close to those oils like olive oil, like coconut oil, like avocado oil. That's the realm we should be, and those are the things that you should look up to, and not continue in the bad style. If you continue in that bad style, diabetes will get worse. It will disintegrate into many ways, and in some cases amputation, erectile dysfunction, low sperm count, infertility in both male and female, and these two can be transferred to your next generation. You don't want that to happen. And I must tell you, if you haven't heard before, Essential Herbs, we have the Diabetes Pancreatic Support. You should get that, and together with our holistic protocol, get on with this protocol and replenish yourself, work yourself back up, and reverse diabetes completely.
So I got a whole bunch more questions I can throw, but like since I think we've at least covered a decent amount of I've at least got less ignorance on my part of I know at least what diabetes actually is in terms of it's just pancreatic compromisation, and then the reaction being type 1 or 2, 1 being more leaning towards an autoimmune reaction versus 2 just being a resistance to your body producing insulin. And now I know different types of ways that can affect your body with from nervous systems to not being able, numbness, to having infection, to higher disposition to infection, to having amputations, to that's the worst one to me. So ED to just gestation, the thing that affects women, the gestation, diabetes, gestational, there we go, pre-diabetes, whole bunch of stuff related to that. I'm a lot less ignorant on diabetes now, I'll at least say that. Diabetes. Hold on. I got to do it one more time. Sorry. Where is it? Literally, he's the one that comes 80 times so it says diabetes. And Doc says, so I'm actually curious, how actually common is diabetes over in Africa where you are? It's not actually really a thing over there, is it?
Oh, it is a thing, because all of those unhealthy foods are in Africa. How is that? High carbs is the number one cause of diabetes in Africa. So you have a situation where there's a mentality that when you eat wild, we have access to wild rice. We have what is called Lymphatic rice. Lymphatic rice is essentially our form of whole grain, and I mentioned that a grain as well called fonio. Fonio is vastly available all across West Africa. Just a few of us face it now. Just the people who hold ancient wisdom consume folio. Nobody consumes folio. Everybody's consuming white rice. So at the end of the day, you see people developing it. So it is more with this generation than with our old generation, right? So my dad, he's 80 plus at the moment. Using no diabetic pill, big prostate cancer, no high blood pressure pill as well. He comes from a generation that were really integral. They grew their food. So they grew their food, they knew what they were eating, but now we have an Africa where there's so many grocery centers and lots of Western food, affordable across Africa. Every food industry is targeting Africa. We got high population, so it's a place, and if you have a high population, you know that food is essential. So every type of food over here in Africa is consumed, and it's creating diabetes. Diabetes is more common with the people in the urban area than in the rural area. Because the rural area, they eat rightly and they eat timely. So you see somebody in the rural eating just one cooked food a day. He moves to the farm. He has mangoes in his farm. He has cashews in his farm. He has bananas in the farm. So he eats on those foods during the day. And when he's back home, he eats one cooked meal per day. That's intermittent fasting. So this is solid. They are not overweight. Their body don't have high cholesterol. They're significantly in good shape, and because of that, they can manifest diseases such as diabetes. However, if you migrate towards the urban area, you get a case where you don't longer eat free-range chicken. You eat poultry-raised chickens that has been given lots of vaccines, chickens that has been fed with growth hormones because they want to quickly grow this chicken in 4 weeks and have them mature for slaughter in 4 weeks because the farmer doesn't want to waste money feeding the chicken when the chickens are just for commercial purpose. But the guy in the rural area, he has free-range chicken. The chicken goes about and they eat grasses and fruits and cabbage and fruits at the corner of the house, those are healthy chicken, no growth hormone in them, no antibiotics in them. The antibiotics this chicken gets, they get it from the herbs that they eat around the house, in the garden. So there's a difference with the food pattern. So everywhere there's Western lifestyle, anywhere you have high level of civilization, check it, there's high level of diabetes there as well. So in the urban areas in Africa, in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Abuja, in places like Nairobi, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Kampala, Dar es Salaam, Accra, Kumasi, you name them, all the top cities across Africa are hotspots for diabetes as well. There's a huge market for diabetes in these locations as well. So we understand this structure, and that's why we are creating the Know Your Farmer initiative as well, that helps the urban populace to get in touch with the rural farmer and also get in touch with the wisdom of the bushman, of the one who lives in the rural area. So when you adopt the wisdom of the bushman and eat the diet the bushman is on, you would manifest healing like the bushman manifests healing.
And I just to kind of sort of piggyback on what Doc was saying on just like the rural areas and urban. So I'm down here in Costa Rica, and they have listen to Doc. He's spot on. The places that have a lot more urbanization, you know, they got a lot more thicker people like me. It's all good. It's all good. Look, I know, I understand. It's cool. I get it. Civilization comes with convenience, and convenience gets you a little fat. It's okay. I get it. But the urban places out here where I'm living, like the biggest person out here is me. Everyone's skinny, but they got farms. They got like coffee, plantains. Like they're growing like everything out here. They growing themselves. I'm seeing some of the skinniest people carrying like 2-3 big ass bags of rice on their back. Like it ain't nothing. Coffee beans, full of coffee beans. I done picked up one of them. It feels like it's like 30 to 40 pounds, somewhere around there. So I'm like, this is hefty. And he got 3 of them just toted on his back. He just walking with it like it ain't nothing. So I'm like, this is fucking insane. Look, there's strong and then there's country strong. He Tico country strong.
Yeah, you're right.
But
right.
man,
So when you see high level of civilization, there's a high level of unhealthiness as well.
so anyone who's watching, like says again, I'm originally from America, Memphis, Tennessee. Look, I would say if you were to piece together like this, I'd say every place in the world it's like a video game. It's like there's pros and cons. There's buffs, debuffs. Like it's perfectly balanced as all things should be. One character, like I don't know, you play paladin or whatever, they're good strength, wisdom, whatever. They got certain stats they're better in and certain ones are worse in. There's a balance, and I just graded everything. So it's like I feel like over here in the West we may more lean towards technology, stuff like that, but over in Africa they're more leaning towards using what's from the land, nature and stuff like that. Probably everyone over there knows how to fucking farm. Green thumb. They can be stuck on land somewhere and be able to fend for themselves for a lot longer than me. I ain't ashamed to admit that. I'm certain if me and Doc would just throw it into a field, all right, survive for a month, I'll be like, so can I just not survive for a year? I'll be like, so can I just mimic what you're doing, player? Can I just look? So look at it. We are melding the two parts. I'm good at the tech, from the part that has more convenience and technology. I'm helping Dr. Laguda bridge that gap so he can bring the convenience of all of the stuff that he has over there from being a farmer and being traditional and, you know, raising off the land and stuff, the stuff that he has over there, conveniently, we can send it over to you versus, you know, if you want, you can go on a plane and go see him. He'd love to see you. I swear he will. If you want to come see him, come see him. You can come see him. It's just, you know, that's more expensive. Hold on. Look.
We want you to get a real-time experiences. It's going to be like agro-tourism for you, right? Exploring the foods Africa have, exploring the herbs, exploring its recreational centers, the relaxation, the landscape, its culture, its tradition. It's a whole experience.
I'm asking for the people who are asking, but who are thinking it but not asking, and if they want to come back with a woman, man, look, we don't care.
Like Africa is not impoverished, you know. We got lots of videos used by con artists to get donations. I've seen a black child really malnourished, and by its side you get a vulture. So it's more like, oh, the vulture is waiting for the child to die so it can feed, right? Those are horrific bastardizing and evil photography that has framed the minds of people when they hear Africa. When you hear Africa, you should resonate with minerals. All of the essential minerals that the world thrives on: gold, diamond, oil, lithium, silver, you name it, cobalt, everything. When you hear Africa, just know that's the region, the continent where all of the Earth's mineral resources are vastly and abundantly available. And here you got a continent that is free from disasters, natural disasters, earthquakes, hurricane. These are very landslides. You hardly hear them across Africa, right? So you got a steady place, whole foods, thriving communities where family is really, really prioritized. It's an experience. It's a rich culture, a rich tradition, and a way of life that, when adopted, creates resilience within the mind and creates a strong mentality that never cows down regardless of any difficulty or obstacle it's facing. So just when you hear Africa, just see it as a light, right? Because every light shines brighter in the dark. So that's what you should know. Africa is calling. You have not answered, so you better answer. Come experience Africa. There's so much to show you.
I don't know what anyone's preconceived notions are about Africa in and of itself, but like I know it is a wonderful place in terms of like it's some of the most beautiful scenery I know you could ever possibly see. Costa Rica ain't no slouch either, but I don't know if anyone's got any, when they think of Africa, what they think of. I literally think of kind of what I'm over here and seeing in Costa Rica. It's just the architecture here is different because apparently it's different because it needs to be. Drywall just wouldn't be as good in certain places here because it's very humid and wet because we're up and around mountains and stuff like that. So it's like everything here is made of like concrete. So it's like, this is dope. Like, don't be dumb and punch a wall here in Costa Rica. You're gonna lose a hand. Like, you're gonna hit straight up concrete. And it looked like y'all's is concrete there too, isn't it?
Yeah, we got concrete, we got bricks, and we also got panels, insulated panels, steel panels.
Let's just look at y'all. Any domestic people violence-wise, if y'all going somewhere that's got concrete places, look. I can't stand you. Oh, he'll calm down real quick afterwards, I swear, because that hand is dust. Well, none site violence. We just recognize it exists.
You're correct. So let the general public know that Africa is open, specifically the Yoruba. The Yoruba is in the southwestern part of Nigeria. We have a healing home. So you're coming in, you're checked into the healing home, you get to meet all the locals, in terms of learning the culture, learning how to farm, learning how to survive, more like Survivor without dependent on technology, increasing survival skills. See it like that. Agritourism.
I'm all for it. Like I says, there's something cool about having to be able to so if I wanted to, I could I see people over here doing it. Like there's the people that live right nearby, they have 140 some odd chickens. So at first I didn't know they had that many chickens. They just told me, yeah, we got chickens that lay 100 and some odd eggs a day. I'm like, that's not possible. They lay one damn egg a day or something. When I saw all the chickens, I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense now. So they have chicken. So I'm like, all right, protein. You got eggs every day, protein. They got sacks of them. They sell them. So I'm like, okay, business right there. They got plenty of eggs. They can sell them and then they can use them and stuff. There's plenty left over. They got cows and pigs. Apparently they had 3. They got 2 now, so they slaughtered 1. And I asked him, out of curiosity, how long does that 1 pig last? He was like, he said that was the smallest one, but typically when they're much bigger, we usually get when they're much bigger. That one had an accident, kind of knocked its kind of snapped its own neck. It fell off somewhere. So they're like, well, it just said, fuck it, go ahead and slaughter it. And apparently it was supposed to last them 6 months. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, it's about 6 months worth of meat. We'll slaughter it. He says, we got a big old freezer. So
weeks, 6 weeks, not months,
weeks. Okay. So I might have misheard him. He was speaking in Spanish. So he said 6. I did hear 6. Wait, hold on. Meses semanas. Okay, I wasn't paying attention.
If you see a chicken of 6 months, I'm not sure a poultry raised chicken will last 6 months.
No,
right?
no. A pig. Excuse me, pig.
Oh, a pig.
Pork.
Okay. Pork. Nah.
I said, no, not no chicken. I said, chicken lasts 6 months. No. I wouldn't trust no chicken that lasts 6 months that you killed. No, but they said they use pigs. They got pigs out there that they like slaughter, and then they last them like half a year. Well, when they get them real big, they say they can almost get a year out of it. They wait till they get like pretty thick on them because there's only like they use it just for their family. So I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. And they got cows too. So I was like, do you use it for milk or do you slaughter it? They're like both. I was like, whoa. I said, how long does a cow last? They said, cow can last us a whole year if we do it right. And just use the freezers. I was like, Jesus.
Now, that's the essence of knowing your farmer, right? You got to know them. You know their process. You know how they do their stuff, what they feed it with, how they slaughter it, what environment they do this in, what preservative they use, what storage facility they have. So all of this information helps you to make your healthy choices. So you cannot be eating chicken that is shot with several vaccines, right? That you don't even know, and giving several growth hormones, and try to, in order to meet up with targets. So you can't be consuming that. That is bad for your entire human body.
So if you can avoid it, people try not to get, all the foods that's processed. Again, I can't even say what you could use as an alternative because I don't even know where you can get. Know your farmer, like you said. Know your farmer. Ask around. Let me see. So first off, Doc, what time is it? Because I know I've almost had you for 2 hours. That was not my intention.
No, that's good content. If we can really hit on it again, then we can touch base. Not now. I'm a little burnt out.
That's fine. That's fine. Look, I'm letting you know we're almost an hour and 56 minutes. I know you've been talking for a minute. I know we've at least got to touch on diabetes. First off, I want to say thank you because I understood that I was ignorant about diabetes. I didn't know it was that damn bad. I did not know diabetes 1 was an autoimmune reaction. That scares me to know that. I was like, damn, that's worse than what I thought. I did not know 2 was a resistance to. I thought 1 and 2, one was you were born with it and the other one you get it. I thought those were the only 2 that existed. Pre-diabetes, still kind of understand. It's just letting you know you're about to get diabetes, you're heading that way. It's not a good place to be, but it's better than being in diabetic area. I understand that the insulin is used by the body to curve sugar. Sugar is good because your body uses it for energy. Excessive sugar, that's where the problem lies. And there's a lot of foods that have high excessive amounts of sugar, like high carbohydrates, the sugars and sweets and stuff that are, processed and stuff now. Any of the foods that are, more in urbanization. So Burger King, in any fast food place, insert fast food place common in the United States, probably not good for you. Definitely not good for you. The ways you can combat that would be, of course, the herbs that you guys offer. The food that you eat is primary. Make sure you can change your diet with we research for low GI foods, so lentils. There was a whole bunch of some of the foods I got in here that I saw was on there: carrots, cabbage, spinach, kale. I don't have kale, but I know that was on the list. Apples, and that is a sweet that I am hooked onto. I eat a lot of apples now. Like, that's how I get my sweet fix. And it's like, the fibers from the apples, the skin of the apple is high in fiber, so that cleans out my system. So yeah, I get my fiber and I get my little sweet fix all at once. Oranges, I love oranges. And pineapples, those are good too. So that I get my little sweet fix from it, and the pineapple lasts me like. I usually eat that with like some a protein yogurt or something. So, stuff like that. Foods. Doc, I don't recall asking, but yeah, I didn't. I don't think I did clarify. Just exercise, food style wise. What diabetes wise? What can people do, like moving around, exercise wise? Should they take into account?
It's very important to move around, keep the body in flow. All of those little bit of it. We're not saying develop some muscles, right? Make those at least a minimum of like 10,000 steps per day. That way you keep your body in flow. You do not allow for overweight to continue. Just be in flow. Don't stay static. Keep up the movement. Do those push-ups, light push-ups, stretching. The goal is to ensure that the body is exercised, not necessarily overworked, right?
So you don't necessarily got to go and grab a gym and a trainer or nothing, but 10,000 steps a day minimum. If you do any type of job or you do physical labor and stuff, that could probably maybe just get you something to track your steps, just so you can be sure, but if you already got a physical job, hey, good on you. Stay moving. Don't if you got more of a sedentary job like mine, I'm a computer technician, so you sit down long hours. HR, you're probably an HR person, you probably do a lot of sitting. Project manager, I don't know, if you sit a lot for anywhere between 4 to 8 hours worth of the day, that's you're in the same boat as me. So get up, do some moving, 10,000 steps, something. Diabetes, what else we're gonna the herbs, sendmeherbs.com. Of course you go to Send Me Cosmetics, that we are Send Me Cosmetics. If you go to Send Me Herbs, it'll still send you to our website. It's just that portion of our website. It's like FedEx is FedEx Ground, FedEx Air. It's basically that. It's just our sister brand. So Send Me Herbs, you'll be sent straight to the our section where you got all of the herbs that you can choose from and the herbs that you can use specifically for diabetes support. We want to make sure people understand we do not cure anything here. Cure does not exist technically, because in definition, that means after you get the thing, you can never get it again. Us humans cannot guarantee that. There's no such thing as a cure. You can't be cured of anything because there's no guarantee you won't do something stupid and go and get it again. So what we offer here is a alternative approach that you can use in tandem with your medications if you wish to. Again, it's your choice. There are plenty of options in the world. We just want you to understand you are not upholding only to going just to the doctor every day, getting yourself poked, doing the diabetes and insulin. Again, I don't know what people who do what you do every day for diabetes, but it sounds like fun. You have other options if you wish to, look outward. There are other options you can use that gives you more. It costs more discipline, but it gives more power to you. It's less you are at the mercy of going to the doctor and waiting for them to tell you what to do, and then you waiting for results after you do what they told you to do. This gives you more power. You can go get the herbs, get them in your hands, and then change your diet and exercise a little bit. 10,000 steps bare minimum, and then take the herbs daily, every 3 days. Pause, take the medication. Every 3 days, pause, take the medication. 1 day with the medication. That way you can kind of track and see what's going on. Check your blood sugar, see if you like what you see. And doc, one thing we just did not mention, bare minimum. I know you mentioned to me offhand that for people with diabetes, this is a long process, because first off, it takes you a minute to get diabetes. You have to be willing to wait for the process to go through. So roughly, if people went through using your herbal process, when did you say that it normally would take 2 months, basically 60 days?
Yeah, let's go straight up 60 days. Disease started with diabetes starts, maybe minimum of like 3 to 4 decades before it starts to manifest. So you just want to, if you want instant gratification, then all of these things we are talking about is not meant for you. But if you want a long-term effect and a sustainable healing, which is equivalent to a reversal, then this is for you. And you should stay on the line and get on for like straight up 30 days, 2 months, actively intermittent fasting, right food eating, and using the herbs that we provide for you. So in 60 days, there's gonna be a big difference, suggestive of the fact that diabetes is reversed.
All right, I'm already going to touch on it just because I know someone's going to ask. Yeah, so first off, he's 2 months. So I want people to understand here, that would be 2 months, so that's about $800. So I know money may not be where people need it to be able to get that consecutively 2 months. So first off, we do offer payment plans. So as far as Dr. Laguda is concerned, as long as you pay for the cost of the shipping to get it to you, to get the herbs in your hands, because that's the main point. The main reason we don't just let you get it at a discounted rate, because it costs a lot to ship it. It just does. He's in Africa. It costs for him to send it from there. To get it physically to here in the United States, it must go through customs. So that process immediately makes it more expensive, because it's now going through import and exports. Like it's so stupid. Logistics are so fucking stupid. I understand why people now are saying it's a pain in the butt to get stuff sent around the world. I understand their pain now. I understand it. I get it. It is expensive. So as long as that is paid, plus like I guess the cost to basically get some of the stuff in the box or whatever, he does discounted rates for it to like partial payments. So we will get the herbs to you, and then you can pay it off while you're still using it. We don't want people who, the worst type of person I hate to say no to is the one who wants to get this. They know they want it. They know they need it. They would like to get this, but they cannot afford it. Like that sucks. So we understand that. So we can offer ways to where we can facilitate that to you to get the herbs in your hands. You just pay us on the payment plan. It's no biggie. Well, look, we're not the mob. We're not gonna say you must pay us all up front. Look, if you need a payment plan, look, we can do that. Just you got to talk to Laguda and let them know. Don't talk to me. Please don't talk to me. My job is to not trust any of you. I think you're shysters, just like you think we're shysters. Look, I work in security. My job is zero trust. There's a whole philosophy. Look it up. Zero trust. Matter of fact, you can talk to Lou. I just want to make sure people understand when I say I don't trust no one.
So here's it. You spend this to get sustainable results, or you spend approximately $5,000 per annum for the rest of your life. $5,000 away from your health insurance. $5,000 out of your pocket, right? Per annum to fix and to manage diabetes. Do you continuously go with this, or do you go straight up 6 months and reverse this disease? So the choice is yours. And like we say, we have really flexible payment plan to ensure that we support you the best way possible to get what you need in order to achieve the result we've been talking about. So we spent a good amount of time talking about the effects, how diabetes is formed, what it does, and we've also talked about the solution. So the solution is going to last you for 60 days. Right? The first 30 days, you feel it. So this last 30 days, you consolidate what you feel. So this is more like it. So we're open, dive on it. We'd love to speak with you before you make the purchase, so we know what your current realities are and what your expectations are, and provide support, mental, psychological, and other ways that are necessary.
And essentially, it's we're always updating our policies and stuff like that. So essentially, anything tech-wise change, that's on me. So I'm just saying this ahead of time. Disclaimer: haven't built everything needed for the diabetes support in terms of automations. So anything that we do with this, I'm building it as we're going. So be patient with me. I appreciate you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, and if you wish to speak with Dr. Laguda, hold on, what's our? I still don't remember our number from heart, so give me a second. If you call us, it costs $35 to schedule a consultation with us. So essentially, that's for us to come see you, $35. For you to come see us, absolutely free. You just got to call us. You call us, you most likely get him, because I'm gonna screen the call. I'm gonna look at it, hope he picks up. If it gets to the end of the ring, I'll pick it up and talk to you. I don't. My job is to get you to talk to him. You don't want to talk to me, and I don't want to talk to you. I love you still, but I don't want to talk to you. Look, the number is 901 country code 1 USA. So 901-586-2410. One more time, 901-586-2410. Call us free. You want us to come to you? Make a booking. Look, $35. And that $35 is returned to you in a store credit. So if you want, you could use that $35 that you just spent to talk to Dr. Laguda. Now this is math. 400 minus 35, that is 365. There you go. Yay. Discounts. So it now costs you $365. Plus I'm pretty sure after you get his consultation there, I may have set up an automation where he's supposed to get you like another discount off of it too. So if that isn't set up, it's because I didn't set it up yet. So I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll work on it. But 35 bones if you want us to make a booking. You'll get that back. Otherwise, call us. I'll say it one more time, just in case you weren't paying attention. 901-586-2410. 2410. There you go. Anything else you would like to add on, Doc? Because I don't want to keep you forever.
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it up. Don't be on the fence. Diabetes is not what you keep. You have to do something about it. And this is the right information that your soul has been waiting on. Embrace it. Reverse diabetes. Save your body and save your next generation. If you let diabetes thrive and you procreate, you're procreating a bloodline that is already patterned with diabetes. So stop the transfer of diabetes. If your parents couldn't stop it, you have to stop it.
Can't top that.
Yes, brother.
So thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing all that wonderful information. I'll get this edited. Well, first, it's got a process on my computer, so I'll get this edited up by the time you wake up in the morning, it'll at least be on YouTube somewhere in the world for people to see, all 2 hours and 10 minutes, whatever change of it. And then I'll chop it up and have it just going out to our socials and stuff over the next, this is 2 hours. The last one was 3 hours. It got us 2 months worth. So a month and a half, maybe between a month and 2 months of stuff.
Okay. But let's dump all of the real file, like the full file on YouTube. So when people hit on YouTube, they're able to, see raw footage, and those who have the time can go through it and, get to, digest all of the content in one slice.
You got it.
Yes. So, Babu, what an exciting time. It is good. We will touch base. The next what we'll be touching will be maybe HPV and HSV, and we can really do justice to that.
Listen, I'll share my
with lots of censorship, but we would navigate it through and be sure with the words that we would avoid, and just we'll touch base. We'll try to time ourselves to not exceed, at least we can go straight up 30 minutes.
Okay. I'll get better with my questions and stuff so I can get that done.
All right, Bress. No problem.
Thank you, Doc.
Your time. Thank you for taking all the time for us to do this. You're indispensable. You're a utility player, always good in every department, and your work never declines. It always appreciates. So keep that in mind and see yourself as an indispensable entity, something you cannot discard. Always remember that, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Appreciate you, bros.
Thank you, Doc.
Yes. Blessings.
Love was one hell of a drug. I be feeling like give me a hug. Niggas ball the first that I'm on. Fuck on that bitch cause I know she a dog. You all want love, I don't know what I want. Milking no cookies.